Hello guys, so you've read and watched the videos, you understand that this is now the year 2070. Unfortunately, global warming is a real thing. It has led to huge impacts on each of the biomes on Survival Island. So we're going to look at what adaptations might happen to an animal over those 50 years. Now, I want you to think, or I want you to remember that these adaptations, they're probably, as the video said, going to be something that they might have had already, these animals, in their through their evolution for over millions of years, and that have come back in, or they might be something that where it's a very small, simple effect on that animal. Okay, so let's have a look at the different biomes and how they've been affected. So you've got the desert biome 50 years from now and the changes. You've got the rainforest biome and the changes that have occurred to it. And then you've got the polar biome and the changes that have occurred to that. Now, I am going to be using Mr. Musgrave's animal. I'm going to claim it as my own for the moment. And I am going to be adapting it for the changes in the rainforest biome. So, first of all, let's have a look, and I'm going to let you read through this. Okay, I've already read through it, so I'm sure that you've read through them as well, or if you haven't, don't worry too much about that until after you've watched the video. So this is my rainforest habitat with my spiked climbing turtle. So it's perfectly adapted to its biome at the moment, but of course its biome has changed. So what adaptations am I going to use? Well, you're going to open up your my animal adaptation report. Let me get those words out correctly. Now, I've actually already done one. Now, you're only focusing for this part on phase 1. You're not going to focus on phase 2 yet. All right. So let's go back to phase 1 because this is the adaptations to its biome changing. So the rainforest has changed. So what structural, behavioral, or physiological changes, adaptation, should I say, might have occurred to it? So first of all, I have said the shell color will become less green and will instead become more yellow and brown. Well, reason for that is because this will mean that it can blend more easily into yellow, grassy, and muddy brown environments. And there will be less trees and plants with green leaves, but there will be more grass. This is because if I look back, okay, at the adaptations, at the effects of global warming and climate change, 20% less rain, so 1 in 5 trees will be gone. Generally, when trees go, that means that grassland comes in, usually savanna, and then if it gets any warmer, it turns to a desert-like condition after that. So we're thinking about that, all right? And I'm thinking about that. So I have adapted my animal structurally. It could be, and it's a very easy change. It's not a dramatic change, that its shell color has gradually become yellower and browner, almost a little bit like the peppered moth, I guess, a little bit similar to that. And how will this be effective? Well, it clearly shows that if it's more yellow and brown, it'll still maintain a greenish tint as well, because obviously the rainforest is still around and there's lots of trees left. But we're thinking that that might actually be more helpful in its survival. Okay, behavioral adaptation. The animal will find clearings in the reduced tree line and bark using its voice. So what I'm thinking here again is, going back to this, there's 20% less rain, so 1 in 5 trees will be gone. Also, though, this is an adaptation to do with huge increase in the number of animal diseases and parasites, which is going to be a real problem. Maybe we're already struggling with that now with the current pandemic. I don't know. That could be, one of the reasons, or we don't know, but it could be somehow or one of the connections to that. So animals will face the same thing as well. Disease, increase in parasites. So it's found a clearing because obviously there's less trees. And then what it's done is, the reason that it barks with its voice is this attracts small birds to feed on the increased number of parasites which cover the animal's shell and skin. So it's got more parasites on it. Now, in order to get rid of those, it finds a clearing, it barks, and there are little birds who come out, and those birds will then eat the parasites, much similar to what some fish do. I think pilot fish do that, don't they? Or some fish do that with sharks, and likewise with other animals as well. You have birds on wildebeest and so on who will actually peck off different parasites from the skin of the creature. So this is similar to that. It's not completely, I think. I think it's quite a reasonable adaptation. It's behavioral, not structural. Right, physiological. Okay, my animal has reduced the amount it eats, so its stomach is now much smaller. Right, I struggled with this one a little bit, but I thought that that's still physiological in the sense that its stomach has shrunk. And the reason being is because it's reduced, this has also reduced the size of the animal so that it is better able to survive on less food because there is more competition for less fish where it actually eats in the streams and rivers. So that's going to be an issue. And it's going to have to survive on less food than it did before. So there we are. Those are mine. What I'd like you to do now is fill out the first part based on looking at the biome and the changes. And you need to just fill out this phase one, 50 years from now. What adaptation structurally, physiologically, and behaviorally might your animal have to adapt, or how might it adapt in those three ways because of what's happened in each of these biomes due to global warming? Okay, once you've done that, move on to the next section. Good luck.